Article dated the 26th of December 2016, written after the 3-2 away defeat at Darlington. Billy Heath, stay or go? With Town now 8 without a win, questions are rightly being raised by supporters as whether or not Billy Heath is the man to once more drive this football club forward. He came with a good CV at this level, brought most of the team that achieved that success, but so far this season we haven't really seen any signs as to how any involved in North Ferriby United's recent success did so. Heath came into the season with 2 influential players injured. You cannot for one second deny that if Scott McManus and Matt Brown were fully fit, we'd have half the defensive displays we have endured. Heath also entered the league campaign without his Ferriby captain, Liam King, who had bagged 19 goals last term. We've endured a campaign where we have not really had a settled side at all due to injuries/suspensions. In all my years of supporting Town, I cannot recall a season that has been as hampered by injuries as this one. Heath has made 2, and easily could be argued 3, with the loan signing of Alex Simmons, very good signings in David Lynch and Adam Morgan. Jury is still out on Clark. Josh McDonald was starting, creating chances and completing 90 minutes regularly. Interesting to note that we have a more settled side, and Lynch signed King back from injury. We won 7 games in a row. Matty Casilo has had an injury-laden Town career to date, but there is no denying that he is a threat when fit for Town. Not a Heath signing though, it was surely that of the board after Nantwich Town's performances versus the club in the FA Trophy. Danny Hone was a calamity at the season start, improved and matured before being struck down by injury. Returning to the squad, one would hope he would carry on where he left off before then. Scott Garner has been reliable and ever-present in an ever-changing back line. We have lost creative midfielder Jordan Sinnott once again to injury. There is not much you can do at this level when key players such as him get crocked. Jake Hibbs, a fan favourite, was given a chance last week, which he did not take. Richard Pennickett is starting to improve after an indifferent return from long-term injury last season. No goals scored in that period. He has 7 this time so far. Denton has 14, and despite his goals drying up in this period, he does set up some chances. Problem is, due to our one-dimensional play, if you cope with Denton, you do not lose. On the flip, however, brackets are no longer happening. If a team cannot get to grips with him, we dominate easily and win. Adam Morgan may change this now if he can hit it off. Again, Heath never plays 2 up top though, so let's hope this changes now. 2 of the 8 were against Eastleigh. While disappointing that at 3-1 up we could not see the game out, that's Halifax Town since 1911, not much cup luck in the cup, certainly in the last 30 years. The home game, the Spitfires' extra quality led to their first goal, followed up soon after by a very soft penalty given against MacDonald. Again, Eastleigh, simply being the better, saw them home. A 1-0 up versus Brackley in the league. Had Josh McDonald's shot gone in and not hit a post and gone straight back to the goalie, I agree with Heath. Town would have won that game. However, 50 seconds later it's 1-1 and the Saints turn in the best performance seen this season at the Shea. On the reverse, the 2 games versus Matlock in the FA Trophy as defending champions were unacceptable, as was the Telford performance. Out of the trophy with a whimper, and a game we should be looking to get 3 points out of, rescued at the end. While the Bucks' opening goal was world class, it should have been no more than a consolation. The Curzon game should have been filed under the same as Telford, but we've since signed the main man in that contest. I'm sure his goals will outweigh that one defeat. Darlington earlier today, once again poor at the back and trailing early on. Get back into the game but cannot take it into the second half once more. Games we have won this season on the whole have been won in the first half, rendering the second a test of keeping a clean sheet. 9 matches now since we've kept one of them. There have been some matches this season witnessed where opposition teams have had 2 or 3 shots and scored 2 or 3 goals. See Telford again as an example of this. 1 shot, 1 goal. Altrincham had 3 and scored 2. Even the games with Trinity defeat followed this pattern. If you've traded on defence during the week, what control do you have as a manager when individual mistakes are made or teams are scoring at this rate? There is no denying we have competed well in the FA Cup, defeating Harrogate Town after turning in one of the most lacklustre performances on Bank Holiday Monday. Drawing 0-0 away at Dagenham, brackets should have won, before the best display of the season to knock them out in the replay. Should have beaten Eastleigh with our second half performance, a book to this season's trend for now unfortunately, and for half an hour of the replay we were the better side. We do score goals on the main, we just need to keep more clean sheets. 4 of the 7 win run were just that. Some decisions Heath makes are simply baffling, such as playing Scott Garner in midfield versus Harrogate in the defeat, or Moyo in there versus Darlington. There is no plan B, and most subs are made like for like. Hands are sometimes tied by our injury list though. Whatever your stance on Billy Heath, no one can deny or ignore he is starting to feel the heat. I personally called for his head after the Telford game, and do now, despite everything, feel it was a little premature. The signing of Morgan, whoever it was made by, could revitalise this team. The signs after his debut are good. Should we fail to beat Stalybridge on the 7th of January, then surely the board must start taking steps. On a personal note, I did really want it to work out for Heath at the club. I believe he's straight and honest in his answers. Brackets, although we turned in a good performance versus Telford answer the other week, rubbed me up the wrong way totally. It was unacceptable to not be beating them if you're aiming to be top in this league. That being said, I was also desperate for it to work out for Darren Kelly, but our performance levels at the minute are similar to that period.